It's time to unleash the dogs of war. Go forth into battle and claim your prize.
Losing a yard against a very staunch Philadelphia Eagles defense. Darwin Walker from the University of Tennessee and the Arizona Cardinals replacing Hollis Thomas, out for the year with a foot injury. Levon Kirkland, he's the run stopper in the middle. Sean Barber, good speed, former Redskin at outside linebacker. And the secondary, Al Harris, starting in place of Troy Vincent and switching sides with the other cornerback, Bobby Taylor. And they've got a little problem on the defensive end as well, as Sean Landeta kicking to the rookie John Simon. Simon on the 15. Landeta with a great kick. And at 40, he's as good as ever. It's a fumble, and it's picked up. And let's see, it's Brian Mitchell who picks it up on the fumble, and the Eagles get a huge break. Brian Mitchell on the rookie's fumble.
Opportunities the last few years.
They struggled in preseason, but that was preseason, as Akers preparing to kick off, and John Simon, the back end, it is a onside kick. And the Eagles trying to go after it, so shades of the Dallas Cowboys of 2 years ago, and no signal yet.
Well, I don't think the ball went 10 yards.
Enough,
yeah.
yes.
Now, if one of the Titans came in and touched it inside of the 10 yards, then it becomes live. So we'll have to see if there was a touch by the Titans before it got to the 10 yards, which would allow the Eagles to recover it. You know, you got to have the moxie to call that play, but you've also got to execute it, and that is something that they have probably practiced time and time again. And as you pointed out, Dick, they executed it 2 years ago in the opening kickoff down in Dallas, and just unfortunately their poor execution.
Well, there's a penalty flag down, and here's the explanation from Terry McCauley.
The ball is touched first by number 59 of the receiving team. The ball was then recovered legally by the kicking team. First down, Philadelphia.
Wow, so the Philadelphia Eagles get the ball. So the incomplete pass, bringing up second down and 10. Extra tight ends, and the blitz appearing, and the blitz works fumble as Eddie George on the handoff, and the Titans recover. So the blitz actually got to Eddie George before he got the ball, it seemed. McNair, the blitz is on, and the screen pass to Holcomb, and Holcomb fumbles it, and the Eagles trying to get possession before it goes out of bounds. And they do. Philadelphia gets it back, and it's Sean Barber picking it up. Sean Barber on the recovery. 27 of the Eagles trying to get back in this game, trailing by 2 touchdowns, and they're going to throw it. McNair will try to throw it, but he's sacked. And a 2-yard loss. Hugh Douglas, 22. Kevin Dyson in motion to the right. And out of the backfield is Greg Camella. And let's see if they rule a catch or incomplete. It's a catch and a fumble, and the Eagles get it back, and it's Sean Barber. So Greg Camella, the former Giant fullback, whose asset is as a receiver out of the backfield, fumbles after making the catch, and the Eagles alertly get it back to snuff out.
It is amazing.
And we are too.
Surprising to see that little wry smile going in at halftime too. You don't usually get that from Coach Reed.
Showing blitz, and there's McNair running away from it and fires, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sean Barber. And McNair upset with himself. So here the Eagles losing Jeremiah Trotter to the Washington Redskins, signing Sean Barber, and Barber paying big dividends on opening day. Down to 5 minutes to go on the Titan 40-yard line, and the end around, and it's going to fizzle in a big way. Kevin Dyson tackled, and a huge loss. Hugh Douglas, 9-yard loss on the
last play.
Back to the shotgun on 3rd down and 10. Eagles show blitz. They come from the left side, and the pass is picked off. Troy Vincent, hurt last week, didn't play in Tennessee, and Troy Vincent, the 11th-year corner out of Wisconsin, intercepts Matthew.
I think he's a pro coach coming back into pro football more than he's a college.
And he brings Champ Bailey, the defensive back, into the offensive set, something that has happened here in the past. And a little toss to Champ. Up to the 31, he loses the ball. The Eagles are contending that they have it. And we're waiting for a signal from the officials. If the whistle blew, the play was over. If it didn't blow, Brandon Whiting's going to have the fumble recovery. But again, we have a situation where we had no call on the field, and Bob McElwee moderates this conference.
The first thing they ought to do is get all the players away from him.
He hit the ground. It could have been reviewed.
It is a fumble. First down, Philadelphia.
Piece of paper, he has some red pencils and some yellow, some blue.
So just get it away. If it's incomplete, the Eagles would have the ball at the 40-yard line. And it is almost intercepted. Rod Gardner, the intended receiver, and Al Harris was back there covering on the underthrown pass.
Did you see what he tried to do with that foot that was on the ground, that wasn't on the ground?
Full liftoff. Third down and 4. Werfel under pressure. Got him by the shirt, and down he goes amongst a trio of Eagles led by N.D. Kalu. Darwin Walker there as well.
Andy Werfel threw it there anyway.
2nd and 15 now out of the shotgun. They run a stunt, they run a blitz, and Werfel pays the price. Taken down to the 29-yard line by Rashard Cook and Sean Barber, the ex-Redskin. As they came down from Philadelphia, most of them on the train. And Danny Werfel gets taken down by Hugh Douglas at the 2-yard line. Well, the Philly fans are going Hugh, and the Washington fans are going boo.
Have gotten the ball off, they've had to go short, which means that everything deep has been covered.
And now on 2nd and 4, it's Davis. Corey Simon is right there. Put the hammer on.
Across the line, or do go across the line. He was just bailing out. There's nothing wrong with that.
First down and 5 from the 50. Werfel throwing into double coverage, and when you throw into double coverage, very often you have an interception. Brian Dawkins.
Yep, and that's when you force it. I mean, you know, there's no lightning.
And then Spurrier's carrying the headset that enables him to talk into the quarterback's helmet. Andy doesn't have to worry about that. But Werfel has to worry about getting sacked by Brian Dawkins. And since he was in the pocket.
Hey, Brian Dawkins, we talk about how Donovan McNabb on offense has done it all. Brian Dawkins has kind of done it all on defense. I mean, you know, we saw him, you know, come in a blitz. We saw him intercept the ball. We see him right here. He's going to come up, and he fakes, and he waits until they pick up the first blitzer, and then he comes on a delayed blitz.
And he gets a sack there. The quarterback was in the grass, so the ball is spotted back at the 20.
The Eagles is a career like some for everybody. Here comes the Dallas reverse. Antonio Bryant gets the carry and finds some room as Bryant. Fumble. Scramble. Right in front of the Eagle bench, and they were quick to start pointing in the other direction.
Fireworks continue.
Yeah. The Eagle ball. Bryant had plenty of yards for the first down and more in Eagle territory. And Quincy Carter looked to throw to the first target. Ball is down loose, still loose, and the Eagles finally fall on it. Brian Dawkins. 7 Todd Pinkston.
I think Andy Reid needs a few more sleepless nights.
Yeah.
Called a heck of a football game today.
Well, if you don't sleep, you have a lot to think about.
A lot more time to think.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
Is he hitting?
Wow.
Sheldon Brown. That got the crowd excited.
That was more exciting than the trick plays.
I don't know what it did for Pinkston, but this is
Sheldon Brown, the rookie. Boom.
whoa.
Whoa. That goes right to the highlight reel.
That jars your bones.
Yeah. Giants is vastly improved. Question mark coming into the season. Protecting.
Quincy Carter.
Goes out of his hands again.
Ball's loose. The Eagles pick it up. And they go from bad to awful.
Yeah.
I've seen the ball slip out of a quarterback's hands once in a game.
Yeah.
3 different presidents. He doesn't want to know too much about what's really going on behind some of those doors.
Carter flung down again by Darwin Walker.
Man, that guy must have unbelievably strong hands, because we've seen that 2 weeks in a row right now, pulling people down with those mitts. You know, he's an engineer.
7 o'clock in the morning, and I heard somebody in the weight room went in and looked to see who it was, and it was Emmett Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, when you eliminate Emmett Smith in that running game, it allows guys like Hugh Douglas and Darwin Walker to get after Quincy Carter.
Did you think, Brian, it'd be a good time to put in Chad Hutchinson?
Yeah, especially now.
Intercepted by Sheldon Brown.
Probably before that pass. And with the Bears, that lead isn't safe the way they come back.
Reggie Swinton takes another one.
Another one from Sheldon Brown.
Wow. He has taken some hits.
Both of them on Reggie.
Down.
Yeah, both of them against Reggie Swinton.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's some shot. Reggie Swinton. Whiplash.
Parr in trouble. And for the 20th time this season, Parr is sacked. Brandon Whiting, 98, and Hugh Douglas, 53. Pinch on him. They get better fast when they're playing all the time. Here's Carr. He's got a problem, and then he, with his legs, gets it, loses the ball. Eagles have it. It's picked up by Brian Dawkins, the all-pro safety. Dom Capers telling us yesterday, nobody strips the ball like the Eagles do. They work on it. They do it better than anyone else. They're the best we've seen, and a classic example. Their 12th takeaway of the season.
David Carr just learned a little lesson about playing quarterback.
Line. He's going to let it rip. Here comes the rush. There's the ball on the field. Carr got it back. But again, the Eagles, and we have to go back to what the coach Capers said, there's nobody better in football at stripping the ball than the Eagles, and they've done it again, but he did get it back.
Yeah, it looked like Carr got it back, but actually it was his offensive lineman that fell on it. Carr was down. It looked like he was out for a minute. Watch as this is where, if you step away from the pressure, you know it's coming from the backside. Watch here. Hugh Douglas just stays with it.
Jimmy Herndon falls on it. Right tackle.
Carr stayed down from him. This is the kind of cumulative effect that you worry about in a young quarterback. He's going to get hit like this time and time again, and sooner or later it's going to affect his play.
Loss of 9 on the play. This rush is going to affect your play, Steve, as he's swept under. Third sack. 22nd time this season in less than 3.5 games that he's been swept under on sack. It is good for a gain of 8 yards. Now Carr takes a look, throws downfield, intercepted. Brian Dawkins, the greatest free safety in the game, takes it down the sideline. And David Carr, young as he is, with all that potential, is overmatched against this Eagle defense. 28-yard return by Dawkins.
Carr got caught in the pocket. He pump faked, and if he would have let it go on the first motion, he might have had a chance to squeeze it in.
Landetta in his 18th year out of Towson State. Hunted for a Giants Super Bowl championship team.
We ran into him, and I've known him for 10 or 12 years, and I did not reckon he's a guy that the last guy you'd think of would be a professional athlete when you see him. There's a fake, Don.
Look at this. The Eagles on the run. One man to beat. The block is there. And Dawkins flying into the end zone. And so Andy Reid, a master at trick plays. That results in a 57-yard touchdown and blows the game wide open, if in fact it wasn't blown open long ago.
Well, Don, we spent our time talking about Sean Landetta, and he wasn't even involved in the play. Watch as they'll snap it to Brian Mitchell. He's going to run it, but it's a shovel pass, and you see there, almost goes down. Dawkins almost can't keep his feet enough to catch the ball, but he has the speed to get to the end zone. It's a foot race, and they caught the Texans totally unaware, and it's amazing because no team in the league has run more trick plays thus far than the Eagles have, and they continue to do it every week.
And that'll go as a touchdown pass from Brian Mitchell to Sean Dawkins. They'll now go for 2, will the Eagles, to try to build this lead. 25-7 lead. McNabb throws and he makes the connection for the 2-point conversion.
Wow.
Chad Lewis.
That was a great throw on a 2-point conversion. You may not see a better throw it down close than that all year on that 2-point. That gives the Eagles a 21-point advantage.
2 now as Wells, who gained over 1,300 yards running the ball last year at Ohio State. Throw to the end zone. Intercepted. What a play. Bobby Taylor, who was one of the standout players as a schoolboy in Texas in 5A football before going to Notre Dame, where he's an All-American, makes the defensive play in the game. The center, Steve McKinney. Another good player, Chester Pitts, a rookie at left tackle, and Domingo Graham, the left guard. Here's Carr as he wisely bails out. Loses yards, though. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, and that counts as a sack. And this is still, well, it's kind of a, with under 2 minutes to go and you're down by double digits. And you see he takes a sack there. This is still a time when you're going to get something out of this football game. Today in their offense, that David Carr made some throws that were spectacular. Their running game came along. I still think their running game is as good a part of their offense as anything.
And now Carr bails out. Of course, they're going to get their tackles back. They hope for after the bye week for the Buffalo game at Reliance Stadium. Tony Baselli and Ryan Young.
Yeah, it kind of hurts your offense when your 2 started, your right tackle and your left tackle are gone, and starting a rookie at left tackle in Chester Pitts against a really good defense here in Philadelphia. And they're up against it a little bit here in the first half of the season, but if they can weather this storm and stay together, this is a club that's going to reap some benefits of this year, not next year. They're going to reap some benefits this year.
Long way to go. This is just the quarter pole of the season. Quarter of the way there. And now a hard sack as David Carr looks downfield, and Dawkins, they send the free safety, and there isn't a better free safety anywhere than this guy. 5 sacks of Carr today. He's been sacked this season 24 times in 4 games.
That brings up 4th down. Of course, David Carr is going to stay on the field. They're going to try and get this 1st down, 4th and about 15, maybe 16.
See the game clock winding down to under 20 seconds. Ball on the field. So is David Carr. The Eagles treat him well. Just kind of set him down.
The clock will stop.
Backs in. Brady shifted. Brunell gets time. Now steps up and is brought down.
That was demolition derby.
2nd and 10 for the Buccaneers. Gone. And the swing pass to Alstott, and the ball is jarred away, and chasing it, and the Eagles will pick it up. Barry Gardner has it. So the officials rule that it was a completed pass to Alstott, who fumbled it, and Gardner will give the Eagles tremendous field position. He is John Gruden's kind of quarterback. 2nd and 5, and the pitch to Pittman, and Michael Pittman driving toward the sticks, fumbles the ball. And it appears, without a signal, that Kerry Jenkins recovers for Tampa Bay, their left guard, and they will still be short of the 1st down by a yard.
Yeah, they're running there at Hugh Douglas. You can see the attention that he's getting. And Pittman right here, I thought this was his best run. He bursted up into the hole. He's just got to hang on to the football. And I think that you see Warren Sapp on the sidelines yelling out on the field. I think that's what he's telling them. The defense does not need to be put in bad field position again.
3rd down and 1. Rolling out. Johnson. And Brad Johnson dives. The Eagle coverage was brilliant. Carlos Evans coming over to meet Brad Johnson to prevent him from getting to the stick. Ball control virtually even. 3rd down and 3. Brad Johnson loses the ball.
He got hit from behind, and it is recovered by the Buccaneers. Trying to get away, and Brad Johnson throwing it away. The crowd wants intentional grounding as Carlos Evans and Paul Grassmanis came in. And he just had to get to the outside the tackle box. Would have been doing some dancing then, I guarantee it. So here's the last play. And Darwin Walker back in action, sacking Brad Johnson. I'd expect a heavy dose of him in the second half because it is a physical ball game. He had 121 yards in the second half last week as Brad Johnson might have gotten his foot caught on the center as he went down. Jeff Christie is the center, who of course was at Minnesota in passing situation. And Johnson goes down before he takes 2 steps back. N.D. Kalu comes in untouched, and Johnson loses 9 yards. Caught up to Philadelphia in the total yardage derby. Meanwhile, second down and 6. Brad Johnson going up the middle for Keyshawn Johnson, and it is knocked away. Staying with him all the way was Brian Dawkins, the free safety, who gets a pat on the back from Keyshawn. And Keyshawn, second down and 6. McCardell in motion, and here is Pittman trying to get around Taylor. And the secondary with good pursuit that time, and we'll have a loss on the play of 5 yards. And I'll tell you what, Bobby Taylor does, he really does a nice job there. And of course, you got Dawkins and that finger. Ooh, they're trying to, well, it's fixed. We had the same thing when we did the Rams. And
it's like a pit stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just went over for a little pit stop. They changed his tires, looked underneath the hood, and threw him back out there.
And earlier in the game, Ike Reese came out. As you saw, he had cramps. So now third down and 11, and Dawkins wants the crowd to get into it. And they do. And the pass. Is it an interception? It is. And it's picked off by Al Harris. Keyshawn Johnson battling Al Harris, who managed to keep possession and his feet in bounds. And the Eagles get it back on the pick. And I think Al Harris is one of the most underrated players, corners in the National Football League, because he's a third down nickel corner. But you watch him here, make up speed right there, and then being able to concentrate on the ball and still get his feet in bounds. Now,
I'm not sure he did. Let's see if he has to have control there. Did he drag his back foot?
Goal at the 10. But Johnson being chased. And he is going to run out of bounds.
He'd be in the training room for a week.
It was 4th and 10, and he got 13. So the Giants keep it from the 43-yard line. Collins off his back foot. Barber drops it. He could probably feel and hear Emmons, and then there's a flag down.
And I think we respect that attitude.
Giants on 2nd and 13. Collins throwing, and that's incomplete. And then really paying the price is Hilliard. So much of a price is going to be a personal foul. Brian Dawkins leveled him, and Dawkins is down as well.
Yeah, they have to know where Dawkins is because he's their best blitzer, their favorite blitzer, and even when he doesn't blitz, a blitz will come from his side.
2nd and 2, short drop, and Collins buys time. Slings it to the outside, wide open is the rookie Stackhouse, but he fumbles it into the end zone, and then it goes out of bounds for a touchback. He fumbled the ball at the 1-yard line, and when it rolls into the end zone and goes out of the end zone, it's a touchback. We'll make him kick a field goal. 3rd down and 18 from the 23. Dropped by Collins, and he recovers it himself, and that, of course, was Kerry's problem last year when he set an NFL record for fumbles.
The latter is true.
Absolutely. 4th and 29 now. From the 34, needing to get to the 5, and Collins is hit as he throws, and that's incomplete. N.D. Kalu.
A crusty hardened football veteran. Here's Miller getting a rush from behind, and down he goes. Blaine Bishop, and that is the first sack of the game, and it comes from the secondary. And you know, Jim Johnson will send anyone from anywhere to get the quarterback. 2 in a row after an impressive win over the Bears.
Yeah, they looked really, really good on film watching the Bears-Vikings game last week.
And a bobble and a loose ball. Des White with the pitch in the backfield, and the Eagles recover. Des White could not hold on, and a big error by the Chicago Bears.
Anthony Thomas's first touchdown. He's a very effective blocker also.
I guarantee Cincinnati will beat Houston. Anyway, 3rd down and 3, and Jim Miller gets buried back at the 30 by Hugh Douglas. And so for the Eagles, they've got a sack from the secondary and one from their second leading pass rusher, Hugh Douglas, on 3rd down conversions. And here comes the blitz, and Miller is down back at the 35-yard line. Hugh Douglas came in virtually untouched, and the big sack will send the Bears into 4th down as they use their 3rd and final timeout.
Well, they're attacking the middle. They've got everybody coming up here. That allows Hugh Douglas to come unblocked. There was a miscommunication between the tackle and the running back. One guy has to block down to take Hugh Douglas. The other guy has to go out on the end of the line. They both looked outside, and Hugh Douglas came unblocked to Jim Miller. About teams being able to handle their pressure, questions in the secondary, but nobody seems to be able to beat him.
4th down and 19. And here is Jim Miller stepping up, and he's going for DeMarcus Robinson. Incomplete, thrown out of the end zone, and the Eagles will take over on downs and will win the game.
Good summer. He led the Lions in rushing in the preseason, but was one of those last cuts, and the Colts gobbled him up, and they're glad they did.
One thing for the Eagles defensively, Blaine Bishop has come off the field. He's over on their sideline being looked at by the trainers.
2nd and 3, and a big block out front. He fumbled the ball, and the Eagles recover at the 1-yard line and then fall into the end zone. This will be an interesting call. It was covered at the 1.
Well, it depends if he was down in the field of play. They changed the rule. If the impetus of the ball took you into the end zone, it won't be a safety.
Brian Dawkins recovered at the 1. At first, it appeared he had control and then fell into the end zone looking for the touchback. Now let's see how the officials call it.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Philadelphia at the 1-yard line. His momentum carried him to the end zone. We will put the ball on the 1 first off.
44-yard line. Andy Kalu is in at defensive end, the rushing end. Out of the shotgun, they got him. They sack Plummer. 27th sack of the season for the Eagles. Ike Reese blitzing from the linebacker position got him.
Well, this is the down and distance they did not want to be in. 3rd and long, and that's what killed him right here. You have some stunts in the middle, and Ike Reese comes from the left-hand side. 5-man rush, little deceptive, and it messed with their protection.
Able to keep the Eagles out of the end zone. Out of the shotgun. Plummer being rushed. And he's sacked by Hugh Douglas. Andy Kalu started the pressure. And then Hugh Douglas. 2nd sack of the game for the Eagles. Douglas with his team-leading 7th of the season. Eagles have 3 defensive backs way back deep in their own territory to guard against the Hail Mary. Plummer winds up and lets it fly. All the way down. The Eagles are around it, batted down by Bobby Taylor. Smart play to come to the end of the first half. The Eagles defense gave up 2 touchdowns, but on short fields after turnovers. Other than that.
So if you go one way, it gets a good grip. If you go the other one, it's slippery.
Blitz coming on the play, and they got him. Blaine Bishop. He really delayed and waited and timed it perfectly. And as Jake Plummer turned around, there was Blaine Bishop as the Cards look for the first down. Schiff, they stopped him in the backfield.
What in the heck?
Wow. Schiff never got started. Darwin Walker and Blaine Bishop were right there to meet him.
And he might have got knocked down once after the throw. but he was not sacked.
On first down, Plummer is sacked. Paul Grassmanis. Fourth sack of the game for the Cardinals. 0 for 2 on fourth downs. They have to get to the 24-yard line to keep this drive alive. Plummer steps up, throws, intercepted by Bobby Taylor. Taylor had one negated by a penalty last time, but he's got this one.
Well, the pocket closed down around him. He threw into almost triple coverage, it looked like. And he had Frank Sanders open. If he had a little time, Frank Sanders over to the right side of the field, wide open.
An amazing guy.
289, that's as light as you'll see a left tackle in the league these days as Garcia slings it over the middle, and somehow it is dropped by Terrell Owens. Perhaps thinking about looking upfield before he looks it into his hands. So a rare drop for 81.
You know, he will do this once in a while, though. You know, he's a competitor, and he has a whole heck of a lot of adrenaline in him.
This season for Owens, averaging about 14.5 yards per catch. That's big. And a great play made in the backfield by Sean Barber, who came over to the Eagles this season, made a big splash on opening day with 3 takeaways because of the rush hour traffic, and really still not into it. Second down and 7. And you're right, John, as Barlow is stopped for no gain, the crowd very much reflective of the way the 49ers have played.
All 189 into every throw he makes.
Each quarterback weighs about 189 as Garrison Hurst is tackled by Levon Kirkland, the longtime Steeler who spent last season with Seattle. First and 20. Little screen. Hurst to the 46, but now you're down to maybe 1 play left, and they take a time.
Where? I don't know.
Third down and 10, where the Niners have excelled this year, but not here. They'll come up well shy. Catch made by Owens, tackled by Dawkins, and that will set up the first field goal.
Even combined with a Ram loss yesterday. I mean, I think that, you know, it's given so much separation in their division that all those things maybe made them too comfortable.
Garcia, and he goes down as he's ridden down by Darwin Walker.
You need quick scores. It's tough to get quick strikes.
The shotgun for Garcia again. Look out, and coming in untouched was Sheldon Brown. The rookie from South Carolina comes in the dime set and knocks down Garcia.
And we're just talking about Jim Johnson and being aggressive, and there's no way that he's gonna protect any lead. He goes to dime, and you're going to see him coming from the right side here. You see, here he is right here, and you just see doink. Right there, there's no way that Jeff Garcia sees or feels it.
First sack of Sheldon Brown's career.
Well, Sheldon Brown was coming on that side. Now, it's Jeff Garcia's onside, but when you turn left to throw left, that becomes your backside.
Now it's 4th and 15, and the Niners have to go for it, down by 21. Airing it out is Garcia. All kinds of contact in the end zone with Terrell Owens and Al Harris, but nothing down, no flag.
And again, they went for an all-out blitz on that one. This Eagle defense will start after you at the beginning of the game and go after you. You rent them. You can rent them or lease them. You can't buy them.
First and 10. Garcia drops it. And then he gets dropped at the 40-yard line. Gift sack for Corey Simon.
Yeah, we talk about, I mean, he said you have to throw off the time. He said that's the key. He said you can't let them ever get in any kind of rhythm. And I'll say this Eagle defense has really thrown off the timing in this 49er offense the entire game.
4th down and 12. They've shut down the running game. Owens has had his moments, and apart from that, nothing. And, well, is Hugh Douglas okay? Yeah, I guess.
I thought there's no way they'd bring Hugh Douglas back in. You think, well, you don't need him. But as Melissa was saying, he's not only a leader on the football field, but he's a leader off the field and a very emotional player, Hugh Douglas.
It's still the best way to get around certain parts of town. There's no question.
Yeah, and
cable car. Especially when you start walking off power.
You can see everyone can see you.
And Rattay gets sacked back at the 19-yard line.
You know, this is one of the things I've never understood in football, why, you know, heck, it's over.
And this one's over.
Right.
NFL.com. Log on. So the Eagles in their third Monday night appearance of the season, and they love playing under the lights. They'll be 3-0. They knocked off Washington. They knocked off the Giants. And now here is the pass for Jordan is incomplete. There's a marker.
And they've had a lot of adversity, and you know, again, I go back to the coaching staff.
St. Louis and Washington. Marshall Faulk still not in the backfield for St. Louis. Play action from Warner. Plenty of time. Looking to get rid of it. Lost the football. And the Eagles take over. Sean Barber made the hit, and Sean Barber comes away with the football. 10, and Marshall Faulk is in the lineup and in motion. First look at Faulk today. And Marshall picks his way as the ball pops out. They're going to say Faulk was down, and it stays with St. Louis. Levon Kirkland on the stop, a gain of 5 on the play, and they're calling down by contact on what the Philly fans thought was a fumble.
I know that I heard the whistle about 7 seconds after the ball popped out down there, and I know they don't use the whistles quite as much as they sometimes would, but I don't know about that one. Looked like he was sitting on top of the pile and had the ball stripped.
3rd down and 5. Hugh Douglas off the edge, almost got to Warner. Bobby Taylor. Touchdown, Eagles.
I think Coyne's thinking he's coming back next week. That thing's still hurting him pretty badly.
Under 5 to play in the first half, starting from their own 26. Warner is sacked. Hugh Douglas. Number 9 for the 2-time Pro Bowl here in this quarter. 3rd down and 16. Warner buys time. Lets it go and finds Torrey Holt. The ball comes out, and the Philadelphia Eagles have recovered. Bobby Taylor, who already has a touchdown, comes away with a fumble as Holt dropped it about a yard shy of first down yard.
Dawkins, he's really the guy who they build this defense around. Last year, in a lot of ways, it was Jeremiah Trotter. He's no longer with this team. Now Brian Dawkins, he's the one who does all the blitzing, and when you talk to these opposing offenses, he's the guy who everybody wants to know where he's at all times.
We haven't seen a running play yet. That changes with a give to Lamar Gordon. He fumbles. Another Ram turnover. Recovered by Philadelphia, and it's the rookie safety Michael Lewis who comes away with it. A lot of drops around Kurt Warner. 23 degrees with a wind chill factor. Warner has seen 6 passes dropped. And it's 3rd down and 10 as this crowd will take their gloves off and start to make some noise. Warner throws, end zone, underthrown and intercepted. Vincent. Out of the hand of Kurt Warner. it back at the 40.
Kurt Warner's face there says it all. It didn't look like anybody got to it. It just came out. Ball underneath, come on, make a tackle, and here he is bringing pressure still, blitzing 7 people.
More pressure and a sack. N.D. Kalu.
I think this is the Eagles' best deployment of getting pressure. That time Andy King out there against N.D. Kalu at the top of your screen, just going to simply beat him with a speed rush right around the corner. When they get in nickel and dime situations, they flop N.D. Kalu to the outside, and boy is he quick off that corner.
Warner is hit. The ball comes out. And it's recovered by St. Louis. N.D. Kalu with another hit on
down that pass rush and run more and more screens. They're doing everything they can to try to protect Kurt, but as I mentioned earlier, Kurt's a guy who wants to get receivers out in the routes.
Warner is sacked again. Hugh Douglas has had a big day.
Well, the Rams were always thin on their offensive line. John St. Clair was struggling from the beginning of the season, even with help from the back. Still no way to stop Hugh Douglas.
We would like to welcome those of you watching other games around the NFL. The Rams trying to stay alive in the playoff hunt, down 10-3 with just over 6 remaining in this game at Philadelphia. The day for Warner, 19 of 37. A.J. Feely making his first start for the Eagles. It's 3rd and 10. Warner in trouble and sacked again. N.D. Kalu.
That's his 7th sack today. Take a look at where Kurt was trying to go with the football, and this secondary, they're doing a good job of covering up these receivers, and then on top of that, this defensive front is doing a great job putting pressure on Kurt Warner.
You saw the statistics a little earlier. 18 times Warner has been hit today. Sacked 7 times. That's a career high. 4 times by N.D. Kalu. He's thrown 2 interceptions. But yet he and the Rams are still alive in this game, down by 7 as they have it at their own 25.
Yeah, I think that's the big key, is the fact that they're still in this ball game. And I know I had a lot of days like this here at this stadium, and this is a defense that just gets into a frenzy when they start putting pressure on the quarterback. That's what's happening right now with Kurt Warner.
Warner looking for somewhere to go with it. Sacked for the 8th time today. Brandon Whiting.
1st and goal from the 4. They fake the handoff to Robinson under pressure, and Hasselbeck got rid of it. They say he was down.
They're going to call the sack right there.
Yep, first sack of the game. This time Brandon Whiting gets it. Also had 2 in a game last year in mop-up duty. Big pass by Hasselbeck. Robinson goes up, but so does Bobby Taylor, and he picks it off. Bobby Taylor finishes off the first quarter in style. Eagles coming on the blitz. Quick pass by Hasselbeck, and it's picked off. Bobby Taylor, his 2nd interception of the game, and he throws it back. Tried to lateral the football, and instead they have to just fall on it. Brian Mitchell won't get a chance because Jeff Fiegels is brought down. N.D. Kalu.
Fiegels looks like he's not feeling too good also, Kurt. Took a nasty shot from N.D. Kalu. He gets after it.
Hasselbeck on 3rd and long. Being pressured by Kalu, brought down for the sack. Indy Kalu, his 7th sack of the year, 2nd big play in the last 2 possessions. 1 on the punt, this time on the sack.
He is so talented, Indy Kalu. You'll see him come from the outside on Chris Terry and just bull rush him right into Matt Hasselbeck and then get the sack.
Well, you can see how they've gotten better and better with Johnson since he's come on board.
Wow.
Hasselbeck being chased down from behind by Hugh Douglas. Sack number 11 on the year for Douglas. Number 3 on the day for the Eagles. Covering tight ends in the league. They have to get the 49. And it's picked off. Sheldon Brown, the rookie, with the interception. 3rd pick of the day by this Eagles defense. From the Jets in that trade. Hasselbeck brought down sack number 4. Brandon Whiting, who's now back in the game, picks up his 4th sack of the season.
In the game now.
1st and goal from the 8. Hasselbeck from the shotgun. Oh! Almost picked off as that pass was intended for Darrell Jackson, who took a big hit from Brian Dawkins. Take a look. Take a listen.
Yeah.
Darrell Jackson knows all about big hits.
He does.
Of course, he had the concussion that kept him out several weeks in Dallas.
He had the seizure after the concussion that was life-threatening. It was
the sidelines.
See what they've done here in 4th down. 30th in the NFL. The odds are against him here, Kurt.
They have to get the ball right to the 8-yard line. Max Strong and Heath Evans, the 2 guys in the backfield. To the air. Hasselbeck. Over the middle, incomplete, intended for Jeremy Stevens. And they're looking for a flag that never comes out.
Perennial Pro Bowler and the rookie Michael Lewis starting again at strong safety for Blaine Bishop. 2nd and 1, a big opening for Stephen Davis, who loses the ball, and the chase for the loose ball, and the Eagles recover. So Stephen Davis, who gained 18 yards on that run, and slow getting up. Only they can deliver. The Daytona 500 drops the flag. 15 weeks of NASCAR coverage returning February, only on Fox. From the 31, Patrick Ramsey under pressure, and down he goes. Michael Lewis, starting his 2nd straight game, chosen on
to defend that, even in those tight zones, did the Eagles run.
Redskins in Eagle territory, and Philadelphia showing blitz from the 43, and here they come from the secondary, and Patrick Ramsey trying to escape will end up losing a yard. Hugh Douglas coming on for winding down, play getting off in time, and Patrick Ramsey downfield and broken up, intended for Darnarian McCants on a high toss, and Brian Dawkins timing it perfectly.
And this is one of the throws that Patrick Ramsey will learn, that in the NFL you cannot make this throw when they play the roll cover 2 right there with Troy Vincent underneath and safety help over the top. That is too small of an area to get that ball in.
And roll cover 2 for those fans that may not know.
The corner that's initially at the line of scrimmage turns and rolls as the receiver goes downfield, comes back, takes the flat area. The safety comes over the top to take the deep pass.
So 2 deep safeties in that formation, and that's been a very good defensive unit for many clubs. Again, crowd trying to make it tough for Patrick Ramsey, gets the play off, and a fumble, and a loose ball, and it's still a loose ball, and Evans is running with the Eagles. No whistle had blown, and Carlos Evans goes in for the touchdown. Whistle did not blow, no one was down, and Carlos Evans picking up the loose ball. Adele Betts never had control of it, and the Eagles getting a defensive touchdown here in this 3rd quarter.
A critical position like that, and you have an illegal procedure.
So they need 11, do the Redskins, against this Eagle defense. 4th down, pressure up, And Ramsey's pass is incomplete, and the Eagles will take over on down. Zeron Flemister, and they weren't going to get the first down even if Flemister had caught the pass.
They'll come after him.
Second down and 18 would be a good time to come too.
Hutchinson has the ball knocked away, got it back.
This is what you see out of a bad football team.
It's up front.
Cowboys have not converted a third down. Hutchinson on the roll. Knocked out near the line of scrimmage. They don't convert this one either.
I said they didn't blitz. That time they sent everybody. I mean, they came after Hutchinson.
I thought you were jumping out of the booth going after.
Yards, what are you going to work on this half?
Yeah, well, we still got to slow them down. But I mean, the big play is what's hurt us. If we don't have the big play, it's a normal.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, thanks.
Emmitt Smith gets only his 5th carry of the game. May have lost a yard on that one.
Dropping balls on reverses, backs moving.
Eagles show blitz. Dawkins from behind, loose football. Brian Dawkins on the blitz. The fight for the ball continues. Flags are down. Eagles have it. Simon looks like the man who covered it.
You want to know why he's an all-pro safety? Not only because he can cover, and the other thing he told us yesterday, I love the blitz. Watch this. He is going to be blocked, but he reaches around the block on Wiley, and bang, he knocks the ball out. How good is that?
Michael Wiley got a lesson of what it's like to try and block somebody who wants to get to the football. The difference between Michael Wiley and Brian Dawkins.
What they wanted in preseason. Hutchinson, they got him. And he's sacked by Darwin Walker.
Well, this could be the last one he scores at Texas Stadium, so this has probably got some value. If he
Hutchinson, play action. Everyone's covered. He runs. And, oh, man. They just lit him up. Carlos Emmons was the first one there to get in a lick.
One of two things is going to happen to Chad Hutchinson.
I know what one of them
he will learn that you can't run over linebackers. I don't care how big he thinks he is. Puts his head down and gets absolutely, or he's going to wind up getting killed. and it looks like it's leaning. I mean, that sideline isn't that far away, Chad. It's okay.
When you're down by 17 and you're not going anywhere.
In the last couple of games, Campo has been criticized in one against San Francisco and praised for going it last week on 4th down.
Hutchinson. Galloway, incomplete. The pass was underthrown by about 4 yards. Bobby Taylor was right with him.
Underthrown. This thing, it looks like it was shot out of the air. It went up in the air and just died.
One play with him and then you take him out.
He doesn't agree either, Joe.
That's baloney.
Hambrick in there now, and Hutchinson scrambles. And has to get out of bounds in front of the charging Carlos Emmons. That time, discretion over valor. Intercepted. Picked off by Sean Barber, and he's going to go all the way. 80 yards for a touchdown.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I don't know if that was Brandon Whiting or not, number 98, but they put some heat on Chad Hutchinson, and he was hit when he threw this ball. He never had a chance to get enough stuff on the ball to get it to the outside.
And Brian Dawkins is one of the guys that makes them go. He's trying to redefine the safety position, and few players are as versatile as him. He's fast. He knows how to find the football. He believes you couldn't just plug anybody into his position in this defense. He wants people to know you have to reckon with him. And Mike, earlier this season, he was the first player in the NFL to record a sack, an interception, a fumble recovery, and catch a touchdown pass all in the same game. He's done a few of those things tonight.
So guy has every skill you could ask for in a safety. He can cover like a corner, hits like a ton of bricks.
And he also got tired of hearing people talk about this game. The season was over when Donovan got hurt.
There he goes. Take that shot downfield.
Hutchinson buried at the 30. Never had a chance. Brandon Whiting took the shot.
See all that time he had to throw the ball down?
And lose it. I don't think he really believes that. I don't think he likes losing at all. In fact, I know he doesn't.
3rd and long.
Oh, boy.
Hutchinson down again. The 7th sack. The ball's loose.
Throw deep. You know, he doesn't have time to throw a deep screen, let alone throw deep.
Boy, this ball winds up bouncing off him after
He's done it 4 consecutive years. Shockey is the much heralded tight end. 2nd and goal. Shockey tipped it, and it's picked off. Michael Lewis. Shockey got a hand on it, put it up in the air, and Michael Lewis comes down with his first interception.
Across the formation there and pick up that blitz. What a great play.
Collins hit from behind and dropped to Douglas.
And that's the mismatch we talked about earlier in the game. Luke Pettigrew, simply no match for Hugh Douglas in the first ball game. And here once again, just the speed and the power of Douglas coming around the corner. Kerry Collins never had a chance.
On 3rd and long, they've overcome the penalty. Now they're in position to get it in the end zone.
They even got a catch from a window dressing. Now Barber loses the football. First of all, Barber slipped as he was trying to get to Collins for the handoff, and then the ball came out. And at the bottom of that scrum, we'll see who comes up with it.
Well, that's right. It doesn't matter who had it to begin with. It's just fight for your life down there right now, whoever comes up with it.
And I just don't know how much longer the New York Giants organization can keep this football field here. I mean, it really is time for field turf or something, because this is just, for a championship caliber game, these players deserve better than what they have out there on that field.
Well, each side saying they have it. And they're still pulling bodies off the pile. Kirkland was the one who got his hand in there and stripped it.
Well, these officials just need to get in there and take control of this thing.
And it belongs to the Eagles. On 1st down, Barber running left. The ball comes out, and the Philadelphia Eagles have recovered the football. Another turnover for the Giants, and this one happens at midfield.
Well, it was right in front of the New York Giants bench. Jim Fossil right there to look at it.
Philadelphia, timeout.
2nd down and 3. Room to run for Barber. 1st down. Barber lost the football. And the Eagles have recovered.
Both the guys involved, because Deuce Staley with the Eagles had a breakout year after coming back off that Liz Frank injury.
And Warwick Dunn living in Atlanta, so that was an easy choice for him after a while. Pressure put on Vick, and the interception. Bobby Taylor. And Bobby Taylor in the end zone for the touchdown. Told us last night we're not good enough of a team to overcome turnovers. 3 of their last 4 games, and in between had an unbeaten string of 8 with 7 wins and a tie. Vick out of the shotgun, gets a low snap and goes down low, and it's Brandon Whiting. Levon Kirkland checking back in. He is the huge run stopper for the Eagles. It'll be 3rd down and 1. T.J. Duckett, the rookie from Michigan State, who has been a force down the stretch, is knocked back, and they won't get it. And it's Corey Simon making the key play for the Eagles. Duckett will lose a yard, and the Falcons will have to post football games. Yes, they have. And so the Falcons starting from their 24 with this possession. And Mike Vick has been no factor thus far in the game and continues to be no factor. And it's Corey Simon coming in with the sack, 2nd of the game for the green-shirted Eagles.
Job of handling the pressure on Michael Vick. Vick?
All right, no one offense had scored a touchdown in this game. 3rd down and 3. 2 tight ends. And Mike Vick stepping back, being chased from behind. Down he goes. Couldn't get away from Darwin Walker, who was rejected by the Arizona Cardinals several years ago and has signed a contract extension. That is the 3rd sack for the Eagle defense and a loss for Vick of 11 yards.
You see number 97, Darwin Walker, just relentless on his pass rush. He gets pushed by the pocket, gets back in, and finishes the play. And that's what you're...
Knocked out in the first Tampa Bay game back in October with a sprained right shoulder. The only game he missed was the game against the Giants. 2nd down and 10, and Vick all of a sudden turns it on to the 10, to the 5, and a flag is down, and Vick getting in for the touchdown, but there's a penalty marker down. And Vick shaken up. As we said, the only game he missed this year was against the Giants, and he was crunched as he crossed the goal line.
We've got a Philadelphia Eagle down also inside the 5.
And holding called against the Falcons, and Dan Reeves is going wild now. That will nullify the score.
Offense number 71. 10 yards till 2nd down.
Holding penalty against Travis Claridge, the left guard, nullifying the touchdown.
Travis Claridge, number 71, the left guard, working against Darwin Walker. He beats him quick. You can see he's got his arms wrapped all the way around him. A good call by the officials, but now Mike Vick has nothing but open real estate in front of him.
Ryan Dawkins coming out of nowhere with the hit, and he is shaken up, as is Mike Vick. That was a ferocious hit by Brian Dawkins, and Doug Johnson, who was the quarterback in the Falcons' victory over the Giants, begins to loosen up.
Well, watch him just come into the screen from the left side. Boy, he just comes in at 100 miles an hour. Puts a shot right on Mike Vick's ribs. I did not even see Brian Dawkins in the picture. He just comes all the way across the field. Look at him explode into Mike Vick. Hits him at full speed.
And this is reminiscent to the hit that Dawkins put on Ike Hilliard of the Giants. Dawkins coming up.
This is an area that they have struggled in the last few weeks of the season. They did a good job against Green Bay last week, but they continue to struggle in the red zone again this evening.
The Falcons have to get the ball to the Eagle 11. And here is Dunn, and the pass caught by Finneran. They're not going to make it. Finneran stopped by Al Harris, and the Eagles will take over on downs with 4:32 to go in the 4th quarter.
With your strength training and conditioning through the rigors of training camp and a long 16-week season, and you're right on the doorstep.
Face mask penalty called against Hugh Douglas. And this pass is intercepted. What a fitting ending to this game. Brian Dawkins with the interception. So the game, big play starting with Bobby Taylor's interception for a touchdown, and Brian Dawkins putting the cap on this one.
Trying to make the calls. I think Tampa Bay's catching them off guard here early.
Hand off to Pittman. Got one. The running game for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, ranked 27th during the regular season, sacked 5 times. The Eagles had 6 sacks as a team. Play action from Johnson. And that's picked off by Taylor. The Buccaneers. Allstott. Wow. Jackknifed his way back to the line of scrimmage. How daring do the Bucs want to get? Not very. Gain of 1 on the play, and it's time for Tampa Bay to punt.
And this is going to be a very, very difficult.
By using multiple blitz packages and a relentless pursuit of the ball, the defense kept opponents off the scoreboard and on the ground. They led the NFL with 56 sacks and finished second in points allowed. Takedowns led to turnovers, and in 2002, they came in bunches. The secondary was the best in football, sending 3 out of 4 starters to the Pro Bowl. The corners were number 21, Bobby Taylor, who led the team in interceptions, and Troy Vincent, a 4-time Pro Bowler.
Going deep, and it is intercepted by Troy Vincent in the end zone.
You can't throw at him.
Completing the Pro Bowl trio is safety Brian Dawkins, who became the first player in NFL history to intercept a pass, record a sack, recover a fumble, and catch a touchdown in the same game.
It's a fake, and it goes on the pitch, running with the football wide